What's going on, guys? Florida Bass Singers here, and it is currently like 11 o'clock at night, and I thought it would be a good time to start editing this video that you guys are watching now, even though that I'm going to be up early in the morning again for school. But anyways, you know, I can't sleep, so I thought it would be a good idea to start editing this video. But while I was editing and, you know, getting the clips together, I noticed I had not filmed an intro nor an outro. So it would have been like an abrupt start and abrupt finish, and that's not, you know, the greatest thing to do, I guess, if you're trying to make a quality video, which I'm way off of quality as of right now, but I'm getting better, at least I hope. But anyways, I came out to the garage to film this outro, intro, whatever you want to call it. You're going to see it at the beginning of the video. I did go out fishing this evening to do a challenge video for a homemade topwater lure that I made. It did not go well at all. I did not catch a single fish on my homemade lure. Good thing I brought two other poles. I brought a crankbait and a jig, and I caught one fish on a jig and like 6 or 7 fish on a crankbait. One was like 3.5 pounds, one was like 2 3/4 pounds that you'll see. So, you know, hopefully you do enjoy this video. You know, bear in mind that I did go out there to try and do a challenge video. I did throw in a couple crankbait tips because I was leaning more towards a crankbait video after I started catching a few fish and kind of shying away from the challenge video that I had originally planned to do. So anyways, guys, I hope you do enjoy this video, and I hope the couple tips that I did throw in there help a little bit, and I hope the fish catches aren't too terrible. I did catch a couple small fish, but I also caught 2 good ones, and you know, was able to salvage a video out of it. So I hope you enjoy, and remember to subscribe and like and share this video, and leave comments down below of what you think about the video, and leave video suggestions as well. And I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you enjoy this video. Oh, that's a fish. That's a fish. Feels like a good fish, too. You guys seen that I was Oh, yeah, that's not a bad fish. I was popping it off of the grass on that point. Let's see if I can't land him. That's a nice fish. Barely hooked. It's a good fish. Ate that Sebile crankbait. Yeah, I was popping it off of some grass on the other side towards that point over there, and I thought I was still hung up, and I was just reeling, and I just felt tension, and apparently it was a fish. So I'll take that. That's my second fish on the crankbait. I didn't start recording on the first one because I told myself I wasn't going to record because I came out here to do a challenge video, but I think they'll start hitting the crankbait, so I'm going to turn the camera on and see how many I can catch. Nice fish. About a 2 1/4 pounder. And off to the races. There's another one off that point. Another small one. Same point I just caught that last fish off of. Super, super small. Got both hooks in him, so he wanted it. About a 8-inch fish. Little guy. All right, so let me give you guys a little tip here. I just caught 2 fish off that one point, so I figured, no, this would be a good time to stop and talk about, you know, what I was doing there. Anyways, as you know, I'm throwing a squarebill crankbait here. This is the Sebile Crankster, I want to say. Yeah, Crankster 65 MRFT. So it has the rattles in it. It dives about 5 foot, depending on your line. I'm throwing 15-pound fluorocarbon, and it'll get down to about 4.5, 5 foot, depending on how quick I'm reeling and where I'm holding my rod. So, anyways, again, I apologize for the wind because it is picking up now, but I was throwing across to that point that is out over there, and the first time I threw there, I felt some grass, so I knew I needed to pick my rod up, or I needed to, come off the bank a little bit. So the very next cast, I came off the bank and slowed down real slow, as you'll see in the video of the previous fish catch, and or not the previous one, but the one after that, the decent sized fish. You'll see that I was just kind of popping my rod. I was doing that because I know there's some grass down there, and I don't want to get obviously buried in that grass, because then you're not going to catch anything. I wanted it to pop across the top of that grass and just kind of rip in and out of that grass, almost like you would a rattle trap. That'll trigger a bite. Simply if they're just sitting in that grass, or if they're looking to feed, that'll trigger a bite. 95% of the time, if there's a fish in that area that's willing to feed. So anyways, use that tip to your advantage. Like I said, this is a point. I have another one over there, and then 2 more, down that way that I can fish. But I'm going to fish this whole bank line going down, and hopefully I can catch a few more fish and give you a few more tips along the way. There's another fish off that point. Another small one, but something tells me that they are schooled on that point. As soon as he flopped off. And, whoa! The other one didn't swim away yet, but now they did, as he continues down the bank, kind of lost. And there he goes. But anyways, I made another cast literally right after I just got done giving you guys that tip. That was my very next cast to that point, and another small one bit it. So I'm gonna keep throwing there until they stop biting it, and hopefully I can catch a big one off of it. Another little tip I can give you guys is when you're throwing a crankbait around vegetation, if you make a cast and you're at the very end of your cast, the long cast, and you cast it to a good spot, and you start cranking and you're only like 2-3 cranks down and you start feeling weeds, immediately, don't crank through it and waste your cast. What I would recommend doing, and what I do in like 99% of my situations, I do it pretty much every single time, especially if I'm at, if I just made a long, good cast. When you feel that bait, I don't know if you can see my rod here, but when you feel that bait hit the tops of that grass, go ahead and let it rise a little bit. And if, that doesn't do it, after you've let it rise and trying to reel, if that doesn't do it, put a little bit of like of a bow in your line, where your line will bow down, and then just grab the bottom of your rod and just pop it once or twice. And if it's not stuck that bad, if it's just, maybe a hook or two's in it, most of the time you'll be able to get that bait out and continue to, keep fishing. So that's a good way to, be efficient with your cast and be able to pull out of some weeds. Like right here, I feel some weeds, so I'm gonna let it float up, and it's not, so I'm gonna pop it twice, and my bait came completely out of the water, but it don't have weeds on it. However, if you do bury your bait in, I'd say 4 foot of water, you should be good enough to, even shallower than that, you could probably get away with it in 2 foot of water, for that matter. I mean, just if you feel that weed and you don't want to waste that cast, go ahead and try those 2 techniques that I just told you, and see how effective they are at releasing your bait from the grass. Oh, that's a big fish. That's what I'm looking for. Look at this fish. Look at this fish. Good 3.5 pounder right there. With what is that? What is on his face? Is that like a... Did that just get on him now? What is that? I'm afraid to touch it. It's dead. It's like a cricket or something. I don't know. It's on his face. That's weird. But anyways, like a good 3 pounder right there. I like it. I like it. Another little guy ate it at the bank. Again, both hooks in them. Little guy, he's bleeding quite a bit because he got hooked in a weird spot on that side. I mean, you can see it, so, or yeah, you can see that. So let's get him back. And he took off.